Hello, hello, hello. Bunch of you already in the chat saying pump it and dump it. I love the enthusiasm. I don't think any of that is going to happen, but
I don't think any of that is going to
we'll
happen.
talk about it. We shall talk about it. How are you guys doing? Everyone doing all right? Hopefully. I mean, market's been boring as fuck. The only thing that makes it a little bit more exciting is the fact that we're just chilling on like a support that is scary if we lose it, which is the only reason why people even look at it, because price action is beyond boring. But we shall talk about it all today. Thank you for the stream, mate. No worries. Drink Milk says, I miss Cred. Yeah, he's in America and the Americans don't have internet. That's why he can't stream. But he'll be back probably, he'll be back streaming tomorrow, is what he told me. But yeah, I told him to update you guys on when he's going to, but he refuses to tweet on Twitter. So, yeah. But yeah, that's that. Before I start the show, big shout out to FTX for sponsoring it. Their links are in the description. I still think they have the best mobile app in the game. And I mean, in comparison to other exchanges, they don't seem to be going belly up, which is a big bonus, right? So I'm pretty sure that's not going to happen, which I can't say for every single one in the space. But that aside, do appreciate their support, and their links are in the description if you want to check them out. Don, I watched all three Mighty Ducks the other day in your honor. I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Flary Reuter says, hey Don, audio video good? Thanks, man. Appreciate it. As always. Busy with the girls, I hope. Me? Not so much. I mean, somewhat. Kret's been making the comparison that I'm kind of like, my dating life is like that of like a hot young woman, but I don't necessarily agree. It's a little bit more sad than that, but yeah, he's going to be back for the people that keep asking. Hey Doug, would you date American girls? Is that like you asking me out? If yes, depends. No, man. I mean, what kind of question is that? Wild indeed. Just got done playing holes. Let's fucking go. Good shit, man. Good shit. I need to go back to the golfing. I've been into triathlon lately, but haven't trained in the last week because I've been sitting in front of the computer, like almost all of you probably, watching this shit, which is more than frustrating. But yeah, let's get into it. Before I kind of just go into all the other stuff, we can talk about that at the end of the show if you guys want to. I don't know why you keep wanting to, but I mean, I guess fine by me. So yeah, high time frame wise, right? Monthly still hasn't changed. Let me actually hide this real quick. So the monthly hasn't changed, right? We're right at the previous all-time high, pretty much exactly. And we're probably gonna close there, right? What does that mean? Nothing really. I don't think it's too big of a monthly support. I think it's just a high, right? But us closing there, I mean, you could argue that's a support close. It's not the worst in the world, I think. It's not really good either. It's just like random. High time from support on the monthly is obviously still, I think 14K is the most important one. The funny thing is, right, that something that I've been thinking about, if we really go to 14K, which a lot of people seem to be awfully sure about, and actually lose it, this entire thing starts looking like a range deviation, right? Because this has been like an extensive range here. And if we start losing 14K, we're back in the range, and then you would have to assume that we're actually going to hit the bottom of the range, right? So, yeah, 14K kind of must hold. I don't really think we're going anywhere close to that in the next month or two, but I could be completely wrong on that. I think, honestly, and I'm going to explain this by looking at the weekly. Honestly, I think we're going to go sideways here, or up, either or. I personally would be very, very surprised if it went down. I think we're gonna round out, and then if it wants to go down, it can go down, right? Spike up once, go down. Fine by me, but I'd be very, very surprised if the prior all-time high just got taken out like this. I think there's gonna be a bunch of people defending it, which we've been seeing, right? There's a reason why we've been chilling around 20K for so long. But yeah, there can be easily spikes to the downside, but like I think the majority of trading is going to be done around this weekly support level, right? So this area, I think it's going to be busy. But I think eventually, if you're bearish, I think you want to see this. And if you're bullish, you want to see the same thing, but without this part, obviously, and then just squeeze up towards 28K. I think both of those make a lot of sense. That's kind of my view. I don't really see why I would want to be bearish at this weekly support, especially given it's the prior all-time high. Beyond, I mean, there's a few reasons, but I don't think they're good enough for me to be like too bearish. And one of those reasons, and QS asks this at the second that I want to mention it, is what if ES and Nasdaq nuke? And yeah, I mean, that's one way to nuke it. If the Nasdaq or if the S&P or whatever traditional market goes down like 10, 15, 20%, we're going to lose the support as long as the S&P stays down, right? So like if the traditional markets nuke and then come back up, I think we're going to do one of these. If they don't come back up again, obviously we're going to trade lower. But eventually I think enough's going to be enough. And then we're going to decorrelate. That might be after a capitulation event though. So if it really, like if the S&P really wants to dump, and if you're really bearish in the traditional markets, you might want to be waiting for a capitulation off of the back of those markets dumping, right? If you think the S&P is going to go down 20%, and we'll talk about that market in a second, then might as well bid 12 to 14K for like a capitulation wick. I don't really think that's too likely, but that might be me coping because I'm in position. My Bitcoin position is exactly like the average is exactly where we're at. ETH, I'm still over water. Solana, I'm still over water, but obviously lost a bunch of profits in the last few days, right? So maybe that's just me coping, but I don't think so. Like this is a pretty high time frame view, just looking at it. 20K, good support. I think that's gonna stick around for a while, even if it's bearish, right? So like this could do like 6 or 7 weeks on top of support and I wouldn't flip bearish. If we lose the support, obviously that would make me bearish until the next one. But until then, I'm gonna be in the bull camp. Just makes sense to me, right? So like looking for this to round out somewhere in support, either like this or like walking it up. I don't really mind, but yeah, that's my gut feeling, sideways or up, with maybe 1 or 2 trips into 18, 17K. That could happen. I don't think it's too unlikely to happen. But anything beyond that would surprise me. But I've been surprised before. It's not like it's impossible. So yeah, that's that. And so the answer to like Bitcoin at 20K again, will it hold? I think it will on a closing basis. On a wick basis, I don't necessarily believe it has to, right? And if you look at the S&P, right, it's kind of funny how accurate I've been on the S&P. I should have just traded this with like high leverage. So we talked about this when it was like down at the support down here, if you guys remember. And I was like, this is going to bounce. It bounced a lot. One of the stronger weekly candles we've had, and then ran into weekly resistance and got rejected there, right? It's kind of funny how well TA has been working on this. The thing is, according to my TA, you would not want to be shorting this because even though there's like a bearish retest or whatever you want to call it, right? I don't ever short, technically speaking, right? I don't short these kind of engulfing candles. It's just not my style, right? Because I could see this close like down here and then have like a strong week afterwards. Not necessarily calling bottom on this, but I could easily see it bounce. And then we're going to go higher on crypto as well. Notable difference in crypto on the S&P has been that you can kind of see, right? So you've had a bunch of days to the upside. You've had 3 days to the downside. It's not even close to losing the entire up move. Bitcoin, bunch of days to the upside, lost almost all of the up move in the last 4 days. So Bitcoin obviously much weaker, right? And that's been translating into the other markets in form of like altcoin dumps, basically. Just based on the fact that people are getting scared. This is always the case when you hit high time frame supports, right? Because people are like, yeah, this is high time frame support, but if it breaks, I'm gonna be down 50% in my altcoins immediately. And then they start selling. The moment you get confidence back in the market, right? So let's say this retests 19,600, 700, something like that, this support down here, and bounces strongly, you're gonna see all the money flow back into the altcoins. It just depends on whether we're gonna see that or not. And obviously, if it goes lower, people are gonna panic sell again on altcoins. Can you please take a look at ETH BTC after? Yeah. Give me a second, my friend. I need a while. Deviation, that's something that SC would say in it. Yeah, but I mean SC would short the entire way down, entire way up, and then claim he shorted the entire way down and is a huge profit while selling initial coin offerings, so like ICOs or IDOs or anything to his followers for money, right? So yeah, I would take that with a grain of salt. Anyone that's long-term bearish, right? You can just look at the chart and look at the people that have been long-term bearish. They sell products most of the time because, I mean, look at this. This has been straight up with like a few bear markets in between over its lifetime. So yeah, if you're long-term bear, you've been losing. A lot of bitter people as well in that camp, and they're very, very happy. Like whenever you see someone that's happy about like crypto going down too drastically, it's always people that basically lost it all. There's very, very chance that you're gonna be happy about something like that if you're not either just coping about having been on the sidelines, or if you just lost it all, because yeah, there's no real reason to be doing anything else. But yeah, that's that. No real reason to talk about it. And yeah, I mean, I've been bullish, bearish on this thing multiple times. I just kind of play both sides, and I feel like we're at high time frame support, so I'm going to be bullish. And if we lose it, I'm going to be bearish again towards the next high time frame support. Don, if you would sell us some product, I'm happy to buy it. I mean, I'm gonna have to make a duck plushie for charity or something then, and start selling that. I wouldn't want to sell anything for profit, like for my own profit anyway. So that's that. Low time frame wise, right? How are we looking? Right now, pretty shittily, not gonna lie. We have like a low here that we're kind of trading into right now. I would want that to hold, right? The best case, how this could end, is like a walk up here, slow but steady, where it just kind of creeps up in this kind of fashion. Just walks up like this, people are gonna call bear flag, and then it explodes. These kind of things we've seen before. But yeah, it starts getting ugly if you start losing prior lows, because then what is a slow down uptrend, right? Because I mean, technically speaking, on the low time frames, as in on the daily, we've been making higher lows, and this is threatening to kind of go below the one prior. So you'd make a new low. You still made a higher high, right? Ish. I always look at the closest, so for me this is like pretty significant higher high, but yeah, you don't necessarily want to be losing that, and if you're gonna lose it, at least hold like 19.5k and then bounce strongly. But yeah, you want to see this kind of curve upwards, no matter how long it takes. And I mean, I know It's boring. We don't want to see it go sideways, but it's just how this game is played, right? A bunch of people got liquidated. A bunch of big institutions basically got fucked. Can't really expect anything but this kind of price action. Funny thing is, if you're still around, still have money, you've been out trading free AC, which have been the biggest names in the game for a long time, as in for the last basically 4 years. So, I mean, that's something. You can tell people you've been trading better than one of the biggest funds in crypto. My dude, chill. You sold trade only one that hit recently. Chill on what? I've not been cloud chasing too much in this stream. I feel like, have I missed something? And I mean, I really haven't taken any trades besides like the recent ones, which basically are still exactly where I started them. Like, if you want to talk about like prior trades of mine, I bought the lows here and I sold pretty much the lows there because I was like, fuck this, it's bearish. And then I bought here and here, and for Bitcoin anyway, and I sold 60k, right? So when we start breaking 60k, I sold here. So that's my recent trades right there. Not really much. I traded in between a couple times, but nothing major. Those are the major trades that I took. And yeah, I don't know what I should be chilling about. I'm pretty chill, I feel like. How about Sold My Duck? Where's Hopium? We'll talk about Solana in a second. It's pretty much in the same situation as everything else, which is people are like, the confidence in the market just kind of goes away the second Bitcoin reaches into support. So yeah, that's Bitcoin. If it goes sideways, I don't think that's necessarily bad. If it starts breaking, obviously, and starts closing below the lows, like you don't want to see it close below this one, that would start looking really, really ugly, I feel like. So close below 19k, not pretty. Anything beyond that, like, I don't really care too much. People keep on linking me, being like, hey, Don, have you changed your mind? Blah, blah, blah. No. Look at the weekly. I entered in this week, and we're basically still exactly where that was, right? We're still trading exactly where we've been trading for the last 2 weeks, right? So looking at the 3-day, you can exactly see what we've been doing, right? It crashed. I bought once high, once low, averaging out pretty decent on Bitcoin. And now we're just kind of still there. We went up a little, went down a little. This is kind of normal, right? When you have crashes, it going sideways is completely normal. It going, like, I mean, even in this case, we walked down and then we bounced big. Like, I'm not changing my opinion based on a few low time frame candles, because the weekly candle is the one that matters in this case, because it's weekly support and there's nothing broken there yet. And I'm willing to take a 10%, 15% loss, like I've talked about previously, because really, I mean, you can, right? If you bought or sold, like if you sold 60k, haven't made losses on the way down. Some people have been shorting. I mean, congrats to them. I just haven't made losses on the way down. I'm more than happy to take a loss at 20k, right? I'm going to throw my money into this market at 20k, because I think that's just a logical kind of place to take a bet. So you haven't sold on? No, I'm like, nothing's changed. When will Don short again? You talk only about longs. I will never short again. I am retired on the shorting game. I only buy now, which is in part because of rules and regulations in Germany, and in part because, I mean, I feel like it's a waste of my time. most of the time. There's a few obvious shorts that I would love to take. There's a few hedges that I would have loved to make, but nothing really significant, right? The upside on buying, especially when stuff is down a lot, is much, much higher than on shorting. Have you heard of Milady? My friends who don't even know about NFTs went to the Milady rave in New York City and said it was fun. I have heard about it, but it's like there's a bunch of drama that I don't want to be involved in. So I am not one of those. There's a bunch of people that I like that run around with their profile pic. There's a bunch of people I absolutely detest that have it. I mean, if you like it, be my guest. I'm not gonna judge. I'm not gonna run it. It's not negative or positive for me, really. So yeah, there you go. That's Bitcoin, right? We talked about it enough, I think. Like I said, I would like it to leave this green box without closing below it. That would be the most bullish thing. There is an argument low time frame wise that this is pretty weak, given that we closed on top of it and couldn't hold it. Which I find like a decent argument to make, a technical one, right? And the fact that we've been weaker than the S&P is pretty obvious, right? So Bitcoin's been weaker on the up moves on the S&P and weaker on the down moves as well. So that's kind of disheartening. I think if the S&P dumps, there's probably going to be some weird strength that you're going to be seeing into 18 or 19K on Bitcoin if Bitcoin goes down as well. Like I said, there's going to be people around that try to protect it, in my opinion. So, yeah. There you go. With regards to ETH, right? So ETH's been a weird one. It's retested resistance, right? So it's dumped a lot. Let's actually go from top to bottom. So it's going to close this month at support, which is pretty neat, I think. I think that's probably going to be a situation like this on here. Like I'm pretty bullish on ETH on the higher time frames. Just like these kind of simple support resistance flips usually do well, right? At least for one or two candles. So I think next month might be like a small green candle. The one after might be a bigger one, and then you can still go down, right? That's kind of my view on ETH. These kind of supports usually don't break on the first test. So I'm not expecting anything beyond like wicks below 1K. I think we're going to probably close at ETH monthly support. And then we're probably going to see a bounce next month. And I mean, the monthly close is going to be, like you can see here on the right side, for the people that have been wondering how you can see it. It's on the right side, it's indicated here, 1 day, 5 hours, right? So in 1 day and 5 hours is going to close. And I think even if you wick to the downside, you're going to have a green candle, or at least like a no body candle next month. Be very, very surprised just based on the setup if anything else were the case. Now, where it goes in between like now and the next monthly close, I don't know. Could it wick all the way down towards like 700? I could see that, yeah. But I think it's going to close in the 1K, 1.1K area. That's my feeling based on support resistances and how these markets usually play, right? And that said, the weekly last week, and I mean, you can make an argument like this is the resistance, whatever. I've always had this 1.2K-ish one. Last month closed at resistance and it got rejected this month, right? So we have a high time frame setup where we're in high time frame support, but struggling with lower time frame resistance. I mean, weekly isn't lower time frame. It's still a pretty big one, but that's kind of what we're struggling with right now. I think if that is broken, and if the all-time high close is broken, so 1.2, 1.3K, that's kind of where the big resistance is. Like if you want to sell ETH, I think that is where the selling is going to show up. We've seen that before. I think that's where the real battle is, right? But if that is broken, I think it's going to be straight up to 1.8k. So like that resistance goes, I think we're going to straight go up to 1.8k, the next resistance basically. But yeah, until then, I mean, if you're a conservative player, you can just chill. I don't mind having a position just based on the fact, high time frame wise, we had high time frame support, right? I value the monthly support higher than the weekly resistance, especially given we are also at weekly Bitcoin support or close to it. So for me, kind of being on the bullish side of ETH as well makes a lot of sense. Now, obviously, trends down, momentum's down, everything's down, right? So take it with a grain of salt. No reason to all in. It's just how I look at markets, right? I see this shit at high time frame support. I just take a nibble. Yeah. Thoughts on Neuner trying to dox SAC? I mean, Neuner's an idiot, in my opinion. So, yeah, I like SAC. I don't like Neuner. What Neuner does is stupid. For the people that don't know, SAG is one of the people on crypto Twitter that kind of reveals scams. He's done so with another YouTuber actually, and yeah, the guy is kind of just like saying he's gonna dox SAG on Twitter. It's all like drama, bear market drama basically. People go nuts during bear markets, and one thing of note that you're gonna see a lot in the next few weeks to months is people on Twitter trying to start selling you shit because they feel like they've kind of missed the opportunity, right? So you're gonna see garbage Twitter projects, be that in NFTs, be that with coins, whatever, crawl out everywhere because they're like, fuck, we missed the bull market. This market might go to zero. I need to squeeze the money out, and then they start shitty projects. So if you see anything like it, stay the fuck away. I can only recommend you that because anyone that like, yeah, most of the people that do it anyway are not doing it with good intentions. So yeah, ETH BTC. Someone asked for it earlier. We can talk about it real quick. So the monthly, right? We talked about the monthly for a while, and we're going to close that as like a somewhat breakdown this month. Now, we talked about this basically. We're pretty close to support, almost hit the support, right? Closing as a breakdown, which is obviously not ideal. And that might go against like ETH-USD, the ETH-USD setup. That said, the support that I wanted it to hit basically hit already or almost, right? This is like 3%. That is like, if something like that happens, I just like, I can only be neutral because this is like the biggest support that you have. I got front ran. So I don't want to be bearish here on the monthly. If anything, like this leaning bearish, right? And then you look at the weekly, and that's been basically right now a bearish retest. You had a range here, you've gone sideways, and now you've ran back into it. The thing is, I honestly think if this week, if we close, and I have no idea why this is like scuffed like that. Yeah, it doesn't matter, it's fine. If this week, where was I? If this week closes above 0.055, right? I think that's still somewhat okay. I wouldn't necessarily call it a breakdown or like a bearish retest. At that point, it's like an attempt to get back into the range, and then it's neutral. So like as long as it holds the bottom of the box, that's neutral. If it closes above, that's really, really bullish. If it closes below, that's bearish, right? So you just kind of look at how this weekly is gonna close, and if it's below the box, I think that's just gonna look like a bearish retest, feel like a bearish retest, not be good, right? But if it can hold the bottom of the box. That's not bad. I think at that point you're gonna have to assume that it's probably gonna go up. And if it closes above, obviously, I think that's a range reclaim, and that's gonna be wildly bullish. And you have some catalysts for ETH, namely the merge. People have forgotten about it now because prices went down. But yeah, I still don't really particularly mind it, and I like the ETH-USD setup a lot. So ETH BTC, not necessarily one that you need to jump in right now, but it's one to watch, right? Because it's exactly at the area where it's either a bearish retest or a failed breakdown. And both of those are gonna, like a bearish retest is gonna be quick and painful, and that's gonna go to the next support, and a failed breakdown is gonna be the most bullish thing, and then you're gonna see quite the up move, I think, because failed breakdowns usually lead to upside, and I think that's gonna lead to new ETH BTC highs, right? So that would mean we're going all the way up here, and that's almost back to all-time highs. So for me, one to watch. I feel like it's probably gonna go up, but I could be wrong on that front. I still position in ETH. I have Bitcoin, I have ETH, and I have Solana, like I said at the beginning of the show. Solana, same kind of deal, right? So bounced from Bitcoin support, rallied into resistance or close to it, now pulling back a little, right? But still doesn't really look too bad to me. All the Solana weakness basically has been Bitcoin weakness. And whenever Bitcoin shows strength, Solana just outperforms, right? So not necessarily bearish here. I think there's good kind of like, if this rounds out, I think there's a good chance that it actually has a second leg. I expected actually more of a drawdown if Bitcoin goes back to the levels that it's at right now. It's actually holding quite well on the Bitcoin pair. Obviously the USD pair is kind of looking rough because, I mean, Bitcoin just went down 10%, right? So that's always gonna translate into the price. And Solana USD still in the middle of the range, right? So we bought the range low. We're originally looking for the range high. I changed my target. I'm looking for this, and I'm still doing so, right? I don't really like, when I'm taking trades on the weekly, I don't really like want to be micromanaging it too much. I traded around it a little bit, which has been good, but nothing major, right? So I see like obvious trade setups. Basically, like if something looks really, really bearish and I know it's gonna go down, I'm gonna sell a little buyback, that kind of stuff, especially when I'm sitting in front of the computer anyway. But beyond that, I haven't really done much with it. So my core position on this is still in it, and I'm just basically bettering and taking profits and kind of bettering my position as we go along. But right now, still think like it had 2 weeks of upside. We're pulling back for 1 week now. Not too bearish on this, right? So you have a range, you get back into the range. You hit the bottom of the range. If you see any strength at the bottom of the range, you target the high, if not more, right? In this case, same deal. The only thing is obviously that it pretty much got really, really close to the top of the range, right? So anyone that took that trade, well done. I am gonna be looking for more, right? Like sometimes in crypto, and I always see this, right? So we basically go through a bull market and people that take profits early get ridiculed, right? And I mean, for good reason, right? Anyone that had a position in this, that joke, like you said, let's say you bought down here and you had a position and you took profits in here, and then the shit runs like 1,000,000%. Anyone that's gonna look from the outside is gonna make fun of you, right? But that's just you trading. But I feel like in crypto, sometimes when you hit these like levels that are really, really obvious, it doesn't really make much sense to take profits too early. And it's better to just let it go its course. And if you're wrong, you're wrong. And in my case, the biggest profits I've made is just when I'm just not in the trader mindset too much. Like I look at entries on the higher time frames, and then I just stick around with the position for a while. And I feel like this is a level that I'm more than comfortable with holding for a while. That's my plan. That's why I'm still in the position, right? If I'm wrong on it, but I would not really be happy just taking it as like a low time frame trade and exiting at first resistance when I think there's more room to go, and then it goes higher, right? So for me, I'm just chilling on this front. I can take the loss, like I said. There's a good reason why I took profit at 60K on Bitcoin. It's because I want to be able to take losses. And I mean, if you've been taking loss after loss on the way down, obviously it's a little bit of a different story, right? It's not fun to lose money. And the more money you lose, the more averse to losing money you're going to become. I'm still relatively early in the money losing business for this cycle, so I'm willing to lose some money. And if I'm right, I'm gonna make much more than I would have made otherwise. And if I'm wrong, I'm gonna lose a trade and then try lower again. So yeah, that's that. Don, you can hook me up with some of your crazy German chicks. Nah, man. Sorry, bro, but nah. Eve about to skip 2.0 and go straight to 3.0. It's taking so long. Yeah, I mean, I made that joke like 2 years ago, and people were like, "Oh, it's coming, dude." Don, if you lose on a trade, it's only because I copy traded you and I'm destined to lose on every trade. Sorry, man. If that's the case, why would you do this to me? I thought you liked me. I thought we were friends. It's fucked up, man. So yeah. Let it ride, bet more. I thought you sounded familiar, Don. I mean, it is what it is, right? At some point, at some prices, right? And I did the same thing. Like, this is not the first time that I've kind of stuck with a position for a while. I've been in the market for a while, right? So, like, I've been stubbornly holding positions. People have kind of made fun of me for, like, taking a trade and then closing it 20 to 40% higher because I've done that, like, basically this entire range here. But yeah, whenever I get the feeling that it's way too low, right, I hold a long time. So in this instance, for example, I bought a shitload at 4K, right, and then went all the way to 3. And I mean, that's a 25% loss. Didn't mind it too much. I just bought more. And then we had a huge pop, right? And sometimes I feel like the prices are like just too cheap for me not to. That can obviously go wrong. But the thing is, like, most of the time it goes well for me, which just makes it like a decent setup, right? Whenever I feel like, okay, this is like way too low, I just tend to be a little more stubborn. And I mean, I gotta say, like, I look at this time frame, like I look at the 4 hour, this kind of looks AIDS, right? This is shit PA. It's really not enjoyable to watch. I can imagine not enjoyable to trade on the lower time frames. But yeah, I can ignore this for the higher time frame picture in this instance. But yeah, I still obviously don't enjoy when it goes down. I mean, if you have a position and it goes down against you, that's obviously not something that you enjoy too much, but it's just part of the game. So yeah, that's that. We talked about Bitcoin, we talked about ETH, we talked about Solana. One of the ones that has been showing incredible strength, which is frustrating me because I've been trying to get bit filled, is Litecoin. Still holding strong, still looking insane to me on the Bitcoin pair, right? I think it's trying to kind of hold the breakdown level, and I could see it just put in another one of these. So yeah, relatively bullish on Litecoin Bitcoin. I think that's a good setup. Worst comes to worst, and this is what I was hoping for. I think this, like both of these, I think make a lot of sense. I've seen a bunch of people try like calling for sub $1 Litecoin. It's fucking hilarious. It's like, you're only gonna make that call if you've been silent on it from all the way down, like from 400 all the way down, right? Say nothing, say nothing, say nothing, say nothing. It goes into like pretty much the last support, and then okay, it's going to one. It's like, I mean, Litecoin is probably going to go to $1 eventually, but what kind of shit trader do you have to be to kind of pull out your $1 targets after a 90%, almost 90% drawdown? Could have done that way before, right? What the fuck does Litecoin even do? What the fuck does any of this do? If you want to pull out the fundamental side of things, nothing of this does anything besides fucking gambling, which I think is a pretty good use case. But yeah, I mean, DeFi is pretty much a way to gamble efficiently, and Bitcoin is pretty much a good way to kind of gamble your money. There's obviously a few ups and downsides to all of this thing beyond gambling, but let's be real, like 95% of us and of everyone that's using it is using it to gamble, if not more. I'd say it's 99% probably. And I think Bitcoin is included in there. I don't think Bitcoin does anything groundbreaking either. So that kind of argument I feel like is a shitty one, because you're basically like, if you're saying what does Litecoin do, I mean, what the fuck does Bitcoin do? And if you're saying, I mean, that's why it should go to zero, then I think you're making a shit argument as well, because there's a reason why it's been going from 1 to a shitload, and I think that's going to continue. So yeah. Dawn is enjoying his cloud boost in Alps after taking profit when Sol hits $80. Yeah, I mean, I'd be loving that. Not gonna lie, I am still waiting for it though. I want it to happen sooner so I can close the trades and go back to my chill life. Because honestly, like being in trades like this, and I mean, it's been like a while since I've been taking like trades that like where I'm like, okay, this would suck if it goes against me, and this is one of the trades, right? So it's like not sized so that I wouldn't really care too much. If you guys remember, I bought Litecoin at like what, like $100, and it went down to like 80 before I got out, like before I got back home from, or like 70 even before I got home from my vacation. Lost a shitload in percentage on that move. But didn't really mind too much, because like when you size it accordingly, you can live with it, right? It's like if you put in like 0 point something of your net worth into something, it goes down 30%, that's fine, right? But if you take like a bigger chunk and throw it into something, that's what I've done with Bitcoin, ETH and Solana. And when it hit 18K, right, I would have been fine with the position that I had at like 22K, but when I doubled down basically at 18, that's where like I'm putting a little bit more at risk than I'm willing, than I'm like comfortable with anyway. So like usually I don't really give a shit. Like I have a position, I don't really need to look at it and micromanage it. In this case, yeah, I have been micromanaging it to kind of decrease risk and to make sure that it doesn't hurt too badly if it goes wrong. Because I feel like I mean, it's a high conviction bet for me, but it's still in a really, really shit market condition, right? So if you go wrong, the loss is going to be quite severe. It's obviously not going to kill me. You guys don't have to worry about me losing everything if it goes to 10K, but it would hurt, right? And normally, I don't really like to kind of take these bets, but sometimes, I mean, I still remember I took way too much of a risk down here. I took way too much of a risk here, and I'm doing it again here. Now, could I be wrong? Like I've been right twice. In this instance, I had paper hands and sold it like at 6 point something K, the too big position. And I think that was because it was too big. And there's a chance I'm going to do this again, right? Because in this instance, I was just all in, basically. I was like, fuck it, this is going to go up. And if it goes to zero, I'm just going to go back to my normal life, and that's fine, right? Now, in this instance, I bought in, and I was like, I don't want to go back to my normal life. I've kind of been getting used to the living standards I have now, and not being able, like, I don't, like not giving a shit about what anything costs. You could just do whatever you want to, basically. And I didn't want to give that up in this instance. And that's why I was like, and this is obviously hindsight analysis, but at the time I didn't know that that was the case, but now I do. I was like, I don't want to give back what I've built, basically. And in this instance, I've bet way less than those two, but still enough so I would be like feeling it. And so that's why like there's a chance that I'm gonna sell it at 28k and it's gonna go to 80 and people are gonna make fun of me again. But yeah, that's just how it goes. That is just how it goes. But yeah, in this case, for the people that have not been around for too long, I bought really low. I basically bought the bottom, sold it at 6 point something K, and then saw it run up to like 9, 10. I actually tried to short there. Didn't work. Got out of it. I think I took like a small loss. It went up higher. I shorted there big. It broke down, and then Sailor started buying, and I was like, fuck this, I'm out. Could go much higher. Stopped shorting, ran up, and then I joined the bull train when it actually started going above 14k. That's kind of like the history there. If I held this all the way up, I would have been giga rich, but that's just how it goes. That is just how it goes. And I could say the same thing here again, but I don't really mind it too much because, as you guys can see, this shit has the tendency to just kind of return to price levels that you've been accustomed before. So like 20k, it's gonna go back to 60k eventually. And then the question becomes, I mean, I'm reasonably certain it's going to go back to 60k eventually. And then the question becomes, how like low of a move could I stomach to kind of risk it for 60k? And 20k I think is a good level for it. 14k is almost like an all-in level, 14 to 12k, where it's like if it goes back to 60k, I think that the chance of it going back to 60k is really high, and it's at 12k, right? I'm willing to risk a shitload because it's basically a trade. And I mean, this is gonna look stupid, but it is like this, right? So, what the fuck? Why is this so low? So basically, it's a trade where your risk is losing everything at that point, and your reward is making like a shitload of money. And that trade you have to take every single time if you are convinced that it's going to go back to all-time high, right? And you can make the same argument here, honestly. Like, it's a prior all-time high. If it goes to zero, it goes to zero. Then you lose everything that you have in it. But it's still, you're gonna make quite a bit more money. And I mean, whatever, doesn't really matter. You're gonna make quite a bit more money if it goes up, excuse me. But yeah, the lower it goes, the more attractive that kind of stupid play gets, because I mean, I made my money with crypto. If it goes to 14, 12 or even 6k, I'm gonna go all in, try to support price as best as I can to run it back up or lose pretty much most of it. Not all of it. I still want to be able to live out my life as I wanted to, but at some price levels, I'm willing to go degen again. This is not quite one of them, but it's close enough that I'm willing to risk a little bit. I'm willing to risk a wound, not like a cut. As I was willing at 30k, I was willing to risk a cut, but like a proper flesh wound. So yeah. So where would you cut your losses down? The thing is, like, I don't even have to. The positions that I bought, I'm more than happy to keep long term. So I don't, like, I could just keep this till zero, basically. I'd be fine with that. But I'd probably start cutting them if we lose 20k and try to reestablish at 12 to 14k. But for me, these kind of positions, I don't really mind too much because I think they create longer term entries. Do you think we would be in the spot if Luna didn't blow up? No. Luna fucked the entire market. Because Luna, basically, for the people that don't realize this, right? What happened is basically Luna blew up. That took the market down. The Luna blow up completely wrecked Three Arrows Capital. the reason why they went so degen, most likely, it's obviously not known the reasons and how they did it and everything, but most likely the reason why they went so degen is because Luna blew up and they took a bigger loss than they were comfortable with and were trying to make it back, right? So the Luna debacle is the reason why we're having this move. This entire move, I think would be trading in the 30 to 35k range, like somewhere up here, without Luna. Maybe we would break down a little and then come back up and then resume the bull market. With Luna blowing up, with going lower, and we could even, like, I think what would have happened and how this market would have played out without the Luna Ponzi, right, is it would have ranged in here. It would have had a shakeout down here that got bought up probably before the all-time high, but maybe at the all-time high, and then come back up and then start ranging and walk back up and go to new all-time high. Now that we had the Luna thing, I think what happened is basically the Luna pushes this, and we could still have possibly, I'm not saying we have to have it, but we could still have a move down to liquidate people and just completely fucking wreck everyone, because everyone's weak right now, right? A bunch of people took massive losses on Luna and they're weak, so they're willing, or that it's easy to take advantage of them, right? But given that we had Luna, I think there's a possibility that we do this instead and then go up. But yeah, that's just my interpretation of things. But Luna did a lot of damage. Not only price-wise, but also reputational-wise. Crypto took a big hit. And it's going to be a big topic regulation-wise as well. I salute your courage to gamble it all. I mean, gambling it all is a relative. I'm going to be fine no matter what, long term. So I'm gonna be able to kind of live my life as I am right now, no matter what happens. But any excess luxury, I'm willing to bet at like 6 or 12k. Like at these levels, I'm willing to bet everything beyond me living a comfortable lifestyle. Like I want to be comfy, but at like 12 and 6k, I'm gonna be risking everything beyond that. And I'm already risking a little bit at 20k here. More than fine with that. Stupidity wrecked 3 Arrows capital. Yeah, I mean, true, but Luna did a good part of it. And obviously Luna was pretty, if you thought reasonably about how Luna worked and what it is and everything, then yeah, you should have been able to see that coming. I mean, I'm a fucking moron, right? Let's be real. Like, I'm not really smart. I can just trade this stuff for some reason. Like, for some reason, I look at this and I kind of see areas where I think it's smart to buy and smart to sell. But, like, I'm not the smartest guy in the room when you compare me to, like, a bunch of these people. Probably the Three Arrows guys as well. Like, they're really smart people. But yeah, I know how to not blow up, and I know how to kind of take advantage of when prices are low or when prices are high. But even I could see that Luna was like dangerous, and I have no idea how people missed it, and I have no idea how people could invest so much money and then still miss it, right? But I guess it's just how the story goes. Do you buy mostly spot or add low leverage too? I only buy spot. We are pumping down. Dude, zoom the fuck. Like, this is why the price action is so shit, man. Because you look at this, you can barely see this candle on the 5 minute, and you guys are talking about pumps as if it's gone up to 28k. What is this, man? What are you guys doing with your life? Stop looking at the 1 minute chart. Like, you can barely see this. You can barely see this on the 4 hour. It's not moved at all. But yeah, is what it is. Laughing out loud. We're desperate. I mean, fair enough. Fair enough. Pump it. I'm down with it. I mean, I'm more than happy when prices are going up when I have a position. But yeah, that's that. I mean, that was like a little bit of like a walkthrough of how I think about this shit. I hope it was interesting. A little bit different, I guess. Try to do something different every time. So we done bad. Please help us, Pumperino. I mean, I've bought as much as I'm willing to, so you're going to have to do the pumping for me. I'm not going to buy more. I bought a fucking Bored Ape or two. I don't want to talk about it, but yeah. So, I mean, I've done my part. Do yours. I like this episode. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, I feel pretty chill today. Sometimes I have good days. Sometimes I have bad days. It's kind of weird. It's just how it goes. I feel like today I have a good day. Bitcoin just went up $1 again. Yeah, fucking hell. So nice. Look at that. Oh, you guys. I mean, I have the sauce here. We can throw on the 1 minute, like 1 second chart, because I have like this premium shit for TradingView. So we can watch this pump on the 1 second chart. Must watch? Yeah, it is. Is this what keeps you guys going? Is this the things that you keep watching? Did you saw the video Bored Ape Nazi Club? I saw a bit of it and it's so fucking stupid. I wasn't able to watch till the end, but yeah. Okay, there we go. That's enough of the 1 second. It's not actually been moving. Maybe there's a better 1 second chart. I mean, you guys must know what's the best 1 second chart in the industry. Bitstamp, obviously not. BitMEX, obviously not. I think it's probably Coinbase, huh? It's the best 1 second chart in the industry. Look at Doge. Yeah, I'm actually bullish Doge. Loom and I have been talking about Doge a lot, and as in a little bit. But he's asked me for my opinion, and I told him it's bullish, and it's gone up since. And there's a reason why I have it in my list of things that I think are going to go up, right? I think it's one of the better coins to buy, honestly. Like, I think Dogecoin is a really good one. Litecoin is a really good one. Solana is obviously a good one. I think ETH's a good one on the list of all coins. I even think Link is a decent one, but not entirely sure on that one. I'd rather buy Doge. Don, it's dumping? Shit. Where? Bro, you're lying. It's going up, man. You've deceived us. Look at the 1 second chart. This is like one of the most bullish 1 second charts I've ever seen. Oh man, this is so stupid. Trader Main wants to do a dating stream with you, Don. Oh really? I'm down. Tell him I'm down if he's like, if he wants to do something. I mean, I don't know what that's going to be about, but you guys seem to be crazy for these, so I'm down to talk about stuff. I think like most of the people I've dated so far don't know my Twitter, so like I think only like a handful, so it wouldn't even be too bad. You two go on the dating stream. Oh, that'd be fucking hilarious. Who dresses up? He or me? I mean, I'm down to take one for the team. I'd be the prettier girl, I think. Don, can you look at XRP Bitcoin pair daily chart reclaimed range low? XRP BTC actually doesn't look too bad. So the monthly is gonna close above support. I don't actually mind it too much. If you're an XRP lover, I hate this wick. Whatever. If you're an XRP lover, I don't think it's the worst. So basically, you close above the monthly, right? What you can do, most decent trade of all times. But what you can do, and this is most likely going to fail, but sometimes not, is this trade. which is a really stupid trade. But I think that's one that you can take if it closes the monthly above support. Obviously, you can also do this. But yeah, this is a stupid trade. But I think I think this plays out 1 out of 5 times, and the risk to reward kind of supports a trade like that. Look at the daily. Yeah, I mean, this is the support. It's kind of at it. Yeah, you can take a trade there. I don't mind it too much. I don't hate XRP here. Big bear diff on the 1 minute. Dude, we're on the 1 second. You're like trading the boring shit. We're on the 1 second, mate. Should we throw on like indicators now? Let's see. RSI. Volume, of course. We need volume. What do we want? I mean, we can use the volume oscillator because whatever. And then we can also use normal volume because we need those. And then we obviously need the MACD, throwback to old times. And then we can see that the MACD, look at this, the MACD is crossing over. That has to be bullish, right? And then whatever the fuck this is, I don't know. But the RSI is going up, so that's a good thing, right? B-bands, oh shit, I forgot. I'm sorry. Bollinger Bands. Oh, why is this? What the fuck is this? What did I open up here? Oh, this is so scuffed. I have no idea what this does. I mean, it seems to be working. Fucking send it. Our indicator strategy is working. Should we throw on more? Maybe it's gonna pump up more. What can we give me some indicators to make this go up more? This is worse than dating talk. I mean, I think we're through the regular scheduled shit. So I mean, we're just making it pump, my friends. We're just making it pump. I hope Cred comes in right now. Guys, I mean, is it working or is it working? I mean, this is just stock RSI. Yeah, we can throw on some more RSIs. This is giga pumping. Look at that. Never seen a candle like this before. Oh shit, it's dumping. Uh-oh. Oh, this is not good. Look at it. Look at how it's losing support on the 1 second. Fuck. Oh, is this the reversal? Is this the range reclaim? Who knows? I mean, it's probably gonna reclaim, huh? Okay, enough of this shit. Let me remove this. We've made it pump enough. I give up. This is how far it goes. Oh, fucking hell. I just want this to be gone. There we go. We don't need this. Oh shit, the moment we removed it, it's over. But yeah, that's that. We talked about a bunch, and I think more than enough. So I'll leave it at that. Like I said, I like Dogecoin, I like Litecoin, I like Solana on the altcoin front. I still like Bitcoin. I think it's at weekly support or very close to it. I think longer term, that's a good buy. I think worst comes to worst, it's gonna round out here unless the S&P full mega dumps, and I'm not expecting that. So I think sideways to up. If I'm wrong on that, I'm gonna take a big L, and that's the TLDR. I think that's plenty. Why remove now down bad? Do you want me to have like these indicators on every single day? I mean, I can put it back on after the stream. Maybe it's gonna help. Hey Doc, how you doing? I'm doing all right. I've had some women's issues. That sounds weird, but I've had some weird shit happen. But good again. I'm good again. Price seems to be positively correlated to the number of indicators you add. That's actually true. That's actually true. I need to add more, but yeah, I mean, life is decent. Just need to get back to working out, because I've been like the degen that has this shit open on the second screen, and then I'm just playing video games, looking at this thing the entire time, and that's not good for me. So if you've been wondering how big my position is, it's big enough to warrant that I have this shit on my monitor the entire time, and that I've been skipping on workout sessions to be able to trade like Solana around, for example, to reduce risk. So it's pretty bad. But yeah, it's is what it is. Some months are like that as a trader. It's not always how you see it in what's it called, TikTok, in TikTok short films. Tampon shortage affecting you, Don? Yeah, it's bad, man. It's bad. Like Bitcoin going down, bleeding out of my ass, no tampons to be found. It's bad. So yeah, that's that. I think we've talked about enough. Just send this, please, so I can go back to my retired lifestyle. I like that much more than what I'm doing right now. And if you don't, I mean, I'm gonna be upset. What happened to the triathlon aspiration? I mean, I'm still working on it. It's just been, like I said, last week or two, I've just been taking it slow just because of trading, basically. But I'll get back into it. I'll do a triathlon at the latest middle next year, but um, obviously still trying for earlier. Still working on it. Did you get the clap? Is that what happened? No STDs at all. Actually, I never had one, so I'm good on that front. I don't know why you're interested in whether I have them or not, though. What do you think of Pentoshi's bad outlook? I mean, it's not it's not unreasonable. I generally like, my outlook isn't that this is the bottom, right? I think we're gonna go to 28k for Bitcoin, or 30-ish. I think we're gonna go to 1.8k on ETH-ish, and then we're either gonna enter like the full-blown bear market that a bunch of people are predicting, or we're gonna have bottomed and finally put in a real bottom. Either or. Uh, so you make up your mind from that. I think I could both see, I could see this and then a full bleed out towards 14k, or I could see this rejection towards like 24 and then a slow like walk back up into the range, and then a year of sideways and new all-time highs. I could see both. I just think like from here towards 14k is very unlikely. That's why I'm betting on upside. Like, I'm only betting on 50% of a move on Bitcoin, and then like 50 to 100 to, for some altcoins, 200%. That's all I'm betting on. I'm not necessarily saying the bottom's in, but it could be. I think like these kind of market conditions can easily be bottoms, and if the macro outlook shifts a tiny bit, this is gonna be the bottom. So yeah. But I don't really care about it at all. Like, if this is the bottom, it's the bottom. And I'm going to sell 28 to 30k, and it's going to go to 60k, and people are going to make fun of me, and I'm still going to have more money than them because I've been trading it correctly, while they've been back holding from 70k all the way down to 18 or 17, and then all the way back up again. And I can easily get back in at 50 or 40k and take another trade through all-time high, right? So it's like, I don't know. I always get ridiculed by the bulls when it's going up a shitload, and I'm always getting ridiculed by the bears when it's going down a shitload, just because I like to buy at the extremes or sell at the extremes, right? And then I get back in when I think the next opportunity is there. So I don't really care if the bottom's in or not too much. I just care if, okay, is this going to go up a little bit or not? Do I think it's going to go up? And if so, I'm going to take a position. And if not, I'm obviously not going to. That's all I really care about. I'm not really worried about missing out the run to the all-time high. And I'm not really worried about missing the short to zero, because I think that's even more unrealistic than anything else, right? So there you go. 1 second chart is a must watch now, Dak. I'm gonna do it after the stream. No, I could not. I could not. The 1 minute is already giving me enough pain. Don't stop the stream. Keep on. Nah, I gotta go. I'm getting messages. I actually have to schedule a date for the weekend going skydiving with a date, which is gonna be fun. I think, I hope. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna have to do now. Kind of schedule everything, see how that's going to go. Skydiving, don't die, please. I mean, I think there's better ways to die, and there's easier ways to die. I'm more likely to probably die on the way there than anything else. But yeah, thanks for coming by, guys. Really appreciate it. Also appreciate the sponsor of the show, which is FTX, formerly known as Blockfolio. Really good tracker for like your portfolio. So if you still want to use the Blockfolio as you've known it back in 17, 18 and throughout, it still works as it has done back then, just with added features. And also obviously you can trade on there if you want to. Pretty much the best crypto mobile app for all that kind of stuff, in my opinion. So yeah, if you like anything mobile, go check out the app. Links are in the description. If not, totally fine. Thanks for coming by. Really appreciate the support. It's been fun. Today's been a funny one. Just don't take it to zero while directly after the stream, because whatever, you didn't like it. Just pump this shit. So I don't lose money. I would prefer that over losing money for some reason. But yeah, appreciate you guys coming by. See you guys next time. And I think Cred's gonna be on tomorrow, but I can't make any promises. He's been traveling, and I totally get it. I mean, it's just nice not having to worry about it too much. So he's gonna be online when he's gonna be online. But yeah, thanks for coming by. See you guys next time. Bye bye.